This is a work day at the river. I had a big pile of clay and topsoil right there that a neighbor needed to do some work on his property so he could put a building that he'd bought on it. Had to level it out. I made a deal with him. He used the man who did all his landscaping to put in 3 of these 12-inch pipes for me to widen the driveway leading into what we call a boathouse. We used to have a smaller boat and it would fit in there, and we called it the boathouse. We still call it the boathouse, but the trailer for the new boat won't even fit in there. And so this is a work day. There were a lot of roots. That's what I picked out of this 3 trash cans full. And there was an old grapevine growing in there. And there were a lot of roots coming off of it. There were some old brambles and some old raspberries. And all I got to do now is add a little compost to this and plow it up and improve the soil with a little bit of lime and a little bit of seed starter fertilizer and some grass seed, and rope it off so nobody can walk through it for a while, and we'll have a stand of grass there by midsummer. This is the main root that was on that grapevine that was growing there. You can see it's way out of shape, all gnarly, although it's still trying to grow. I cut most of the roots off the bottom. I'm going to actually take this back to my home and plant it in my real good soil, and just to see what will happen. It's been out of the ground for at least 6 days. If I put it into the ground tomorrow, we'll just see whether it sprouts. I have no idea what kind of grape it is. It's been there for a long time. It's fairly windy down here today, and showing you the blueberries. They haven't set as well as they have in the past. There's quite a few here, but there are a lot of sprigs of blueberries that don't have many on them. You can see right there it's a little sparse. Normally you'd have 3 or 4 times that many. We'll still have blueberries, but not like we normally do. There's 2 kinds here. This is the other kind. And as you can see, there's a fair number of them here, but they have produced a lot more than this in past years. It might have been all the chilly nights. I see some of them are still flowering. This is how our onions are doing. It's 5:15 here on the East Coast, and we're tickled with these so far. They were planted on the 23rd of February, and I've got 9 leaves on them. On some of them, 13 is all you get, and that makes each layer in the onion. But so far they're doing pretty good. They look pretty healthy. They're strong, and to realize they were rained on for a day and a half, they're standing up pretty good. If you get 13 leaves, that's what they call all the little spikes. And an onion has 13 layers, so if you get 13 leaves, you'll have 13 layers, and if conditions are right, you'll have the biggest onion that you could possibly have for that particular type of onion. If you only have 8 leaves when they start to die back, then obviously you're not going to have as big an onion, and it's exponentially the difference between, say, 6 leaves and 12 leaves is just not twice the size of onion with the 12 leaves. It would probably be 3 times the size of the onion with the 6 leaves. We got a couple squash plants that have come up volunteer. That fig tree has set some early fruit. They generally will set, at least this kind, will set some early fruit, and people who first get them, they think, oh, this is going to be a bad season. the real bloom for the main crop comes later. We don't have as many in the early crop, so it just seems like all these cool evenings, and we didn't have rain for 3.5 weeks, have affected them. The most productive apple tree is this Granny Smith. I got her to hand. I've been cutting it back for the last several years, but you can see that it has set a lot of apples. We've seen it set more, but this is probably a good average year for this tree to produce. Since we've cut it back, the apples have are at least 50% larger, but they're a fair amount on this tree.